Hey, welcome to the Sunday preview for this Sunday, the big one of the year, Easter Sunday. Welcome as we finish this Easter Triduum and we begin the Easter season. So we have this beautiful reading on Sunday during the day from the Gospel of St. John. On the first day of the week, Mary of Magdala came to the tomb early in the morning while it was still dark and saw the stone removed from the tomb. So she ran and went to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Jesus loved and told him, "They have taken the Lord from the tomb. We don't know where they have put him." So Peter and the other disciple went out and came to the tomb. They both ran, but the other disciple ran faster than Peter and arrived at the tomb first. He bent down and saw the burial cloths there, and the cloth that had covered his head, not with the burial cloths, but rolled up in a separate place. Then the other disciple also went in, the one who had arrived at the tomb first, and he saw and believed. They did not yet understand the scripture that he had to rise from the dead. The Gospel of the Lord. It's an awesome gospel that's seen that morning, after they spend a day and a half mourning and grieving the loss of Jesus, and the whole world's fallen apart, right? With the arrest and condemnation and death of Jesus. And a little bit of hope is here, but more confusion than anything else. St. John records all these details. He's the other disciple that he's referring to. He always refers to himself in the third person. The disciple that Jesus loved, that's St. John. And then the other disciple ran faster than Peter. And the first thing to note about this is that the messenger is Mary Magdalene, a woman. Back in those days, woman's testimony wasn't taken to mean anything at all. But the Lord chose her to be the one to give the news of the empty tomb. When they get to the empty tomb, they're kind of perplexed. There's no body, but the burial cloths are folded up. And I'm sure they opened them up and they saw that image that we call the Shroud of Turin. And so the mystery deepens. And St. John admits they did not yet understand that he had to rise from the dead. But John, it says, began to believe. He remembered what Jesus had said about rising on the third day. And he put his faith in the resurrection. And since they hadn't encountered Jesus and they didn't know where he was, they didn't know what to make of it. And I think the resurrection's a mystery for us today, even 2,000 years later. Sometimes it's hard to make out how we ought to interpret it. But I think we've always believed very deeply that it means that death doesn't have the last word in our lives. And even when we lose somebody very close to us, we know that they go to the Lord. And then you know that on the last day, we'll all rise again with our bodies. That's why we treat the dead with such respect and we bury them in sacred ground. But it means that all the problems of this world and all the evil and all the sin and all the violence and horrors that we're used to on a daily basis coming from the news, none of that's the last word. Even if they manage to kill us, we will rise again because we belong to Christ. And Christ is risen and will never die again.